to the Alzheimer's office here in sunny Santa Cruz. We are now located at 550 Water Street. It's just a quick skateboard ride to the ocean. It's a great location. We're open Tuesdays through Friday from 9 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. And we're also open late for programs and support groups as we go. My name is Nora Payton. I'm the regional director in this part of California. And we serve 3 counties here: Santa Cruz, Monterey, and San Benito. In our region alone, there are more than 10,000 people who are living with Alzheimer's disease. And each of those people have 1, sometimes 2 unpaid caregivers, usually a family member or a friend. That increases the number of people affected by this disease into the tens of thousands. Our goal is to reach as many of those people as possible, raising awareness of the disease and also of the resources that are available to people in Santa Cruz County. Right now, we are putting the final touches on our, there we go. Right now, we're putting final touches on our Santa Cruz annual conference on Alzheimer's. It takes place at the famous Coconut Grove on Thursday, May 16th. And with me here is our family care specialist, Juliana Mendoza, who is responsible for organizing our conferences. She just had a very successful event in Monterey and is gearing up now for our May 16th event. Juliana, can you share some highlights of the program that people will be seeing?
So we are happy to having this event here in Santa Cruz. It is an all-day event, and we are having different topics, and some of those topics this year are research updates, legal planning, and mindfulness. We're also very excited to have David Troxel, who co-authored The Best Friends Approach to Dementia Care. He'll be our closing keynote speaker that day.
He was wonderful in Monterey. Just great ideas, good feedback from the audience. I'm really excited to have him again. And how about the audience? Who are the people who should pay attention to this?
Sure. So for this conference, it's really designed to fit the needs of caregivers, professionals, and anyone that's interested in learning more about Alzheimer's disease or related dementia.
What I enjoyed about the Monterey conference and last year's Santa Cruz conference was the fact that caregivers could speak to other caregivers. Yes. Or they could speak to professional caregivers and see both sides of the story here.
Yes.
And so in addition to those, we also have sponsors for this event.
We do have some sponsors, and we're very thankful to all of our sponsors this year. And they offer a lot of resources to families, and they can answer questions as to what they can provide to families who are caring for somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia.
That's great. We have an 800 number. You'll hear that a lot today. 1-800-272-3900. You can go right on there and register for the conference or learn more about it. Or if you're ready to make the jump and just read more about the topics for this conference, we have alz.org/NorCal. Thanks, Juliana. I know it's going to be a great success.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we have Erica Grant, who is our community outreach specialist. Of course she is. And she's going to talk about the many other programs and services available here in Santa Cruz County. Erica.
Thank you, Nora. So right along in that education realm of our conference, I'm actually coming to this Facebook live stream directly from holding a class here in our office on knowing the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's disease. Education is a big part of what I do here in our office and out in the community. Some of those programs are things like understanding Alzheimer's and dementia, effective communication strategies so that caregivers can learn tips and techniques to better communicate with their person living with the diagnosis, and programs like Healthy Living for your brain and body, so you can get tips on how to maintain that healthy body, healthy brain lifestyle. Some of our other programs are INR, which stands for Information and Referral. You can do that over the phone or here in the office. We do care consults, so you can come in and you can sit down with, actually it's another thing that Juliana does for us. She sits down with people. They can talk about care options, care planning, ask questions about legal, financial. Driving often becomes a concern, especially in that early stage of the diagnosis. So we can give tips on that.
Let's stop there for a second too, because what we have found is that the earlier someone will come in and talk about this situation in their family, the better journey they have. Too often we see people come in where the finances are shot, the emotions are shot, they're at a stage where it's just too difficult to include the person with the disease in any of the decision making. So we advocate both for early diagnosis, but at the same time that people make those appointments as early as they can and involve as many people as is important in the decision making.
Absolutely, and that's a big focus of what the program I did today was on the warning signs, is really educating people and talking to them about the changes that they're seeing and being comfortable to take it to their physician. We know that early and accurate diagnosis does lead to better quality of life during the disease progression. So some of the other things too that we do in our areas, we have support groups. So we hold some groups right here in our office at 550 Water Street, but we also hold support groups throughout the county. And that's all 3 counties. So we have them in Monterey, from Monterey up to Scotts Valley. We have them multiple times throughout the month. So we have them during the day, we have them in the evening, we have them on a Saturday. A lot of opportunities for caregivers and family to participate in a group. We also have groups for persons living with the diagnosis in that early stage.
Want to talk a little bit more about that? That is a very specific 8-week program. It's not a drop-in. I think that's important for people to understand if they're planning to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So early stage support group is a little bit unique that way, that we do a screening process to make sure that that person really is in that early stage and it's appropriate and it's a good fit for them and for the group. The other thing that's unique about the group is there's 2 groups that happen simultaneously. So we have a group for the care partner or the caregiver, and then we have the group for the person living with the diagnosis, and they happen at the same time here in the office. And if any of those sound of interest to you, if you have questions, you can call us anytime. You can call us on that 800 number. You can call. Juliana is actually the person who would talk to you and give you that screening for that early stage group.
I wanted to, there's a great story that Erica has shared before about a woman we met in Sacramento. I think we should share that because it really speaks to the early diagnosis as well as the taking steps early on to turn what is a very difficult diagnosis into a positive pathway.
Yeah, so a lady that we work with that's in one of our early stage support groups, when she had been given the diagnosis from her physician, that was all she was given, was the diagnosis, and then she was sent home. And that was very devastating for her, and she was really depressed, and she just stayed home for months, isolating, crying, not really knowing what to do or who to turn to. And she came across our 800 number, which you can also find that number in our comments. And she called it at 2 in the morning, and she was able to speak to a live trained staff person at the association, and they gave her a care consultation right over the phone. They reassured her, they gave her education, but they also linked her to one of our early stage support groups that she started attending that group right away. And from that group, she learned about clinical trials, and she got involved with a clinical trial through UCSF, where she then had this great oversight from this awesome team of professionals and a neurologist, and it really changed her world from having this devastating diagnosis and not really knowing what to do to creating this new network of people and support for her life, and it really changed her quality of life.
And what she says is, finally I'm with a group of people who don't keep saying to me, I told you that, I told you that, or don't you remember? And I think that on the smallest level, that is key to helping people just learn to deal with it and then build the skills to help them and their caregivers take care of this. she was in the trial match. You want to take 2 minutes
She
to
was,
just
yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah, so Trial Match is a program that we do where you can go online or you could even call us at the 800 number, and we can put the link to Trial Match in our comments as well. And it's really easy. You answer some questions and then they link you with trials that would be appropriate for you or that you would possibly qualify for. So you're not given this overwhelming amount of every trial going on in the world. It's really catered to you and the questions that you answer. And I think a lot of people think of clinical trials and they think, medications, getting poked and prodded, and some definitely can, but a lot of them are really lifestyle questions. They want to follow, what you do, and they can be pretty uninvolved to very involved. So you can really choose what kind of level of involvement you want to do.
Right, and it's really important that research are able to have the broadest base possible of people, both affected and unaffected by the disease, so that their research can have more depth and more legs. Let's talk about CUNY Outreach. We don't just do what we do here in the office.
No, we jump on our skateboards.
That's right.
And we go down to the beach. No.
For sure.
We actually do like to go surf at the beach though, some of us, right? No, but we really do live in a great, beautiful community, and I have the pleasure in my role to be able to be out in the community, and that's a really big part of what we do with these programs and this education is we want to make it available to everybody and anybody who could possibly benefit or just want to know more information. So when they can't come into our office, we'll go to them. So we go to libraries, we go to churches, we go to schools, wherever people want to hear us talk, we'll go out and we'll do education. And I mentioned some of the different programs that we have, and that was really just a few of them, but we have a lot of really great information on the disease.
And we are able to present these programs in English and Spanish, thanks to Juliana, so that we are able to go to health fairs and participate in congresses where the attendees are largely Latino. So it makes a big difference in this community. Let's see. If you have an idea about where you'd like Erica or Juliana to go, we ask you to call that 800 number and connect, and they'll get that message to us, and we'll see if that makes sense, because it's the best way for us to get the message out, to raise the awareness that so many people are dealing with this disease. Doctors, medical, want to talk a second about that?
Sure, so
2 seconds, go.
2 seconds, okay, 1, 2. Part of our outreach efforts are also to our local physicians, our doctor's offices, our health systems, because like the story I told of the 800 number, we don't want somebody to go into their doctor, have a diagnosis, or maybe not even get the diagnosis, but know that there are concerns and not be given any resources. So part of what we do is we go out and we educate our doctors and along with really anybody in their office, so that they know that we're here to help guide people. And we not only bring them here into our office, but another part of what we do is we connect people to other resources out in the community.
That's right. I talked to my doctor during my wellness check, and I said, so I'm entitled to a cognitive assessment. She said, you don't need it. I said, yes, but I'm entitled to it. And we just talked about the idea of that it's available to people don't realize it, and that it is each of us our right to ask for that. And I think that's an important thing for people to know. Another big doing that we have going on here in Santa Cruz is our Walk to End Alzheimer's. That's going to take place this year on Saturday, September 21st, and it's at Seascape Park. And our walk is unique because of its venue. It is on the beach. Very few other walks in the country can say that. What's not unique about our walk, and it's something that we share with the more than 600 other walks going on around the country in the fall, is that we are raising awareness to people who might not otherwise recognize this as a health crisis that it is. We also, very importantly, raise money. And we raise money to provide the programs and services that Erica has talked about, and to be able to fund research. The other thing that walks do is that they look into the future and provide hope for the day when the cure will be found. So there's that 800 number again. Registration is open. We are looking for walkers, we are looking for teams, we are looking for sponsors. And you can find that information on the 800 number, 800-272-3900. Sounds a little like a marathon here, but, and that number takes us to all the things that you can find on the 800 number, which I think Erica and Juliana have talked about. And what we've done today is we've added a few links into the comments section of this video. So you have links for the walk. You have links for this other uniquely kind of different sort of fundraiser called The Longest Day, which we think you'll want to learn more about.
I'm wearing the t-shirt.
You can do registration for the conference, and you can just check our program schedule.
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to ask you is to join us. Walk with us, attend a program or a support group.
Okay, so we do have a question from the audience.
Oh,
And that question is, how many volunteers do we have in Santa Cruz?
I would say between programs and walk, the walk committee, which by the way is looking for more volunteers, I would say we have a core group of about 20. Does that sound right to everybody?
That sounds
Yeah, so we have about 20 that work with us on a really regular basis, and then we're very, very fortunate to have these other volunteers that really come in and support us for day of events, like the conference. The conference takes a lot of volunteer power, and we're so grateful to people who come in and help us with that. And the walk to End Alzheimer's, it takes a village. It really takes a village to put that on. So yeah, regularly about 20, but the numbers really extend greatly from our day of programs.
And one of the things that Alzheimer's is doing and we want to do is we are looking for community education volunteers who will work with Erica to train and learn the programs, some of the program topics that she talked about, and be able to expand our reach into the community. So again, 800-272-3900 will get you more information on that, and we would really invite you to join us. We also invite you to come and visit us. Come get your End Alz bracelet. We've got plenty, and if you pop in, we can give you one. And I think we've probably covered what we wanted to do. We want to give a shout out to our wonderful volunteers because they make it possible to do the things that we do. And I know as we attract more volunteers and get more people engaged, we'll have a notable difference. And we have one other shout out.
We do. We want to give a shout out to Katya. She's our program assistant who couldn't be with us today because she's in London. Poor thing. But now you've met our team here, and come see us in person.
Right. And the thing I think we all want you to say is we are here for you. Anytime that you need us, we're here. Thanks.